Right then, this is a quick walk around video, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.8 EX petrol car. This car's covered just 78,000 miles and it's in really lovely condition. It's a real rarity to find one as good as this, finished in black, which looks absolutely fantastic on the car. Front of the car is really good, very few marks that are obvious, rather. Bottom of the car, unlike so many Civics, actually looks really clean with hardly any stone chips on there at all. Near side, really smooth in the panel work. Can't see any obvious indentations. I think there's one tiny one over a wheel arch, which I will get to. Near side front alloy, really good, just a little bit of light curbing there, you can see at the top. The panel work generally is really good. This is a 13-year-old black car, so there are going to be some light marks on the black paintwork, which you're clearly going to expect. For most, look like they'll simply buff straight off. Near side rear alloy, again, really good. And there's that tiny little dimple dent just there. And come around the back. Bumper corners, again, generally good. A couple of tiny little marks, which could easily be touched in. And boot lid again, just a little mark there, which again could be just very simply touched in. Bumper corner and panel work again, very good on the offside. Offside rear alloy, lovely condition, and the remaining panel work is really clean, it has to be said. The final alloy, again, in excellent condition. So as I said, apart from a few age-related marks, that car's one of the very best you're going to see, I think. Coming to the back of the car now, massive boots on the car. Civics are normally very heavily used, and yet the boots here has been kept in really lovely condition. Coming into the back, wide opening rear doors, and again, all in very good condition with only mild amounts of, well, tiny amounts of wear actually. It's been kept very well. Finally coming to the front on the passenger side, there's discoloration on the silver trims there, which is quite common. I should imagine a bit of tea-cut or something, probably get it off, but aside from that, kept very well. Finally come to the driver's door card. Again, generally very clean indeed. Footwell area is all really nice, and driver's seat in excellent condition. So inside the car now, engine's running for this section, so dash can be seen illuminated, of course. Dash looks fantastic and is in really good condition as well. And there's that amazing view you get as a driver. It looks absolutely stunning. Hope you can see that. 78,186 miles, no warning lights on the dashboard at all. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut keys all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.8 ES. This particular car is registered VO08DNF, and mileage currently showing is 78,180. The reason we do these videos, as I say, in pretty much all of them, is very simple. It's to ensure that if anyone is looking at any of our cars online and in the advert, they actually get to see the car we're advertising in operation. And the reason we feel it's important is because we know, regardless of the age or mileage of the car, how frustrating it can be to go and see a car which can look perfectly good in photos and the description, but only get there and find out it's got a fundamental problem that shows up while you're driving the car. So that's why we do this section of the video. So as you probably know from the walk around video, this car's come in as a part exchange to us. People bought a Honda CR-V from us recently. They kept the car very nicely, I have to say. I'm going to lose the argument with that tractor, so I'll get out of his way. The car drives absolutely beautifully, and I don't want to be a complete spoiler, but there you go. Engine starts instantly and settles to completely smooth, even idle. No warning lights on the dashboard at all whilst the engine's running, and not just engine but any other warning light. Temperature gauge running as a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda vehicle, and the engine's been running for quite some time now. The engines are genuinely brilliant units. It's everything you'd expect of a Honda in terms of, you know, they're tough, reliable. Just going to zip right. Tough, reliable cars. Engines have, you know, reputation as being probably one of the most reliable engines ever made. Cam chain driven. There's no cam belts to worry about on them. But that's only half the story, because this engine could go in pretty much any modern car. It's beautifully refined. We've got a real vigour to the way it pulls, and is so sweet in operation. It really is. The other thing with them, and I've owned loads of these 1.8s, is the fuel economy you can get out of them is astonishing. Honda claim 43 to the gallon. Now, normally claims like that are hopelessly optimistic, yet all the ones I've had, I've easily achieved that. And on longer trips, driven just with the flow of the traffic, I've exceeded 50 on many occasions. So it really is an amazing unit. And it just sounds as it would have done when it was new. Engine then feeds through into clutch and gearbox. Clutch of the car is absolutely perfect, and there's a good reason for that, because it was changed about 3,000 miles ago. So it's got a virtually new clutch in the car. So absolutely spot on. Gearbox in the car, just brilliant. It's one of the best gearboxes you'll ever get to use. It's so slick in operation. It really is. It's a joy to use. All the gears engage absolutely perfectly. But as I said, you know, compared to so many cars that have a, you know, vague, lifeless gear change, this is the absolute opposite. It's just one that's just every gear engages with the same feeling of engagement. It's a wonderful gear change. Steering on the vehicle, again, to carry on the theme, it's just fantastic. It's really quick and direct, very kind of dynamic and sporty. Hardly any movement needed to change direction, but joyfully the chassis can cope with it wonderfully well, because this is a car for, you know, enthusiasts as well as the family person. It also feels as tight as a drum on the road. It really does. It tracks absolutely bullet straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit, so it all feels very good there. Chassis of the vehicle, again, just brilliant. It's because it's said with the steering being so quick, having the chassis that can cope with it, because it's, as I said, the change of direction, it's got a real verve to the chassis, so when you go through corners like the one up here, just taking sort of a little bit quicker than normally, tiny movement of the steering wheel, it just points its nose in and goes. It is fantastic. It also rides really comfortably. Some of the ones which have got the lower profile tyres can feel quite harsh, relatively speaking. Sharper ridges can catch it out, as they do lots of modern cars actually, but driving on this road here now with the back roads, it's a very comfortable car indeed, and no nasty noises coming from underneath either, so all in fine fettle. It has just gone through MOT, by the way, so all's been checked and all is good. Brakes on the car, I'm going to leave this turn to the last second and give them a good old thump. Really nice, powerful brake pedal on the vehicle. Pulls the car up really well. No pulsing, no vibrations coming back through the brake pedal, so all in good order. So coming inside the car, it's in really good condition in here for the age, it really is, and being an ES model with the panoramic roof, adds lots of natural light into the vehicle, which is lovely. First thing you notice when you drive it is the absence of squeaks or rattles. I mean, they're very well made car, it really is. But then you've got this dashboard, which is just sensational to look at. Even, I mean, this came back out in 2005. That's how old it is in terms of, you know, 16 years old, the design. And yet it's still so fresh to sit in and use. Because not only is it, in my eyes at least, fantastic to look at, it's also eminently practical. You've got this lovely sort of big, easy to use radio on the side here, all functioning properly. You've got a dual zone climate control system, which means you can have different temperatures side to side, and very rare for this age actually. air conditioning's working perfectly well, because it was actually a bit of a weak link on the car, because if people didn't use them regularly, they could fail. So, but this one is working exactly as it should. Then there's wonderful two-tier design in front. It's just fantastic to look at. I'm really nerdy, but at night, when it's illuminated, it looks amazing. It really does. But it's fantastic in its design, because basically, as you're looking ahead on the road, you get to see a high-up display for your speed, clear as day, without taking your eyes off the road for a second. Then down below, you've got this wonderful kind of hologram effect dash design. It's so reminiscent of the first generation Honda Preludes, and seems to kind of float in an abyss. It's just amazing to look at. Steering wheel feels great in hand. All the functions working exactly as they should. As I said at the start of the video, I mean, the point of the video is very simple indeed. Is really to establish if there's any obvious faults with the car, and there's nothing at all. To think this car's now 13 years old beggars belief, because it just drives, you know, like a 2 or 3 year old car. It just feels so tight, so smooth, so quiet on the road. Absolutely amazing. But typical of Honda's engineering, it has to be said. As always though, if you've got any questions about this car, don't hesitate, do give us a call.